Alright, so we're here today to discuss Season 4, Episode 12. I'm Travis.
You said,
Carmela.
Keisha.
And how we're going to do this is we're going to share some screenshots and then each discuss what our thoughts were on the specific scene and what that has to offer for the rest of the episode.
So starts
Um,
it.
yeah, who wants to start it out?
Well, my points are towards the end of the show, so I feel like I'm not
Okay,
against this.
that's fine. I have one from the beginning. If I'll go ahead and share that. So let me pull it up real quick. Alright, so this scene was the very beginning, the intro part, when Michael was running from Snoop and the other, I can't remember his name, the other guy. My first thoughts were that they were actually like chasing him to kill him. But then as we saw as it went on, it was just like a test, it was training. So, I just thought that this, it showed the start of Michael turning into one of them and trying to be one of those. I don't know if you want to call them like mercenaries or guards, whatever they are. But I just thought this point was important, especially for the rest of this episode, because you see Michael slowly go downhill and basically go from being a kid who was trying to help out his brother and was doing okay in school to now just turning into one of the gangbangers.
Yeah, it was definitely like a really big shift. I was kind of like taken back, and then I saw the music, like he had the gun out, and I was like, what? And then it was just a paintball gun, or a paint gun, I guess.
Yeah. I attribute it to the title of this episode, which is "That's Got His Own." It looks like he's chosen his own path, so to speak, in his own new crew. He's branched off from his old crew, so I attribute it to the title of the scene. And I like the fact that the David Simon has included the audience because the way the scene starts out, you suspect that he's actually going to be the next victim of one of the vacants, but then it turns out it's just like an initiation process.
Yeah, I definitely thought he was going to be. I thought he was going to get killed. I thought they were, because I think the end of the episode before this, Marlo said something to them about Michael, but it didn't come across like, oh, let's like train him. It came across as like he's a problem now.
Yeah, it could go either way. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they said something about him being, or Marlo said something about him being a snitch. So then came this episode, and I was like, oh snap,
Right.
getting him.
Yeah, it's gonna take him out.
yeah.
Okay.
So I'll go next. My picture is of when Prez goes to visit Randy and his mom at home. I really liked the scenes in this episode that had to do with the teaching stuff because, I want to be a teacher, and I thought it was really cool that Prez went to his house and was really concerned about him because throughout the episode he talks about how he is worried that the students aren't doing so well, and he really he shows a lot of care for them and respects them. And then also one other thing I wanted to point out in this is throughout the whole scene, Prez remains on the right, and in that one article we had to read, it was saying how the good guys stay on the right. But so even when they show his face and when he's looking at Randy and his mom, he's still on the right.
I didn't really notice that.
That's a good point. I didn't notice that either.
That's a good catch. Looking at those camera angles, that's it looks like our eyes have gotten trained to look for that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, I think 4 seasons worth of watching and having to actually watch in depth. I think we're starting to get the idea that they're not just videotaping it. They have they have things planned out for a reason, little subtle messages.
Yeah, definitely.
He's very strategic. I mean,
Yeah.
just giving a lot of thought to, what he's going to display on the screen. Something he can stand behind. I definitely can relate to that. Cool. that the only clip you have?
I mean, I have more to share. Do we?
Yeah, I have more.
I can
Oh,
keep
okay.
going if we want, or we can just rotate. Whatever works.
Well, I actually had a clip. Let's see. I'm gonna try this. Don't know if I'm gonna get it right now, y'all. Okay, so I just chose two different clips, just focusing on the camera angle since we're talking about it. I
Okay.
wanted to just point out how they are mindful about staying with the 180-degree rule, and they never break the plane. And I just think he does a fantastic job of doing that, you know, of being mindful of that with the camera angle throughout this whole dialogue. He never breaks the plane, and he does it again here. Hold on. He does it again here with this conversation between Colvin and the deacon. Like the camera always stays on this side, on the right hand side of the actors, so he never breaks that 180-degree plane that we had been educated about. So I thought that was interesting. I tuned right in on that. It looks like all of our eyes are capturing those camera angles and techniques. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. You know, it seems like what we've built up this whole semester of like all the articles and stuff we had to read. You know, we're now starting to like see like more than just the show. Like we're actually starting to see like the production quality of it and whatnot.
Yeah.
And we're seeing all the little things that make the show like what it is, like all the background stuff that goes into it.
Yeah, it makes it more than a show. It makes it like so much more raw and realistic. Like sucks you right in. I know it in the first couple of seasons, like it was hard for me to stop watching. Like I was watching ahead and stuff because, you know, you just want to see. It's kind of like you're involved in that storyline, and that like a book that sucked you in. So, um, I definitely think the techniques, learning about, you know, the story behind the story, has allowed us to actually, you know, interpret things different ways.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, like what I've noticed a lot is like the colors they use too. Like I don't know if you guys have noticed that either, but like a lot of colors just repeat throughout the whole show. Like I think what was it, blue, red, and yellow thing
Yeah.
is a main
Yep.
one.
Still trying
I
to
don't know.
figure
I
out
don't
what the
understand
yellow
that,
are.
but I mean, I
Me
just
neither. I'm glad you pointed that out, Carmela, because that has really been bugging me. Like, what's with the blue, red, and yellow? Like,
yeah.
those colors have to be specific. I kind of got the blue and red, you know, but where's the yellow come in? Is that the cowards? I don't understand.
The only thing I can think of is war because they said that in the episode with the yellow paint. So I don't know.
And that isn't that the color of the jackets they were wearing? You know, when they were doing the cold cleanup scene, they all had those yellow, bright yellow jackets on.
Don't remember that scene, but
That was towards the beginning of the season.
you can check.
Trying to remember what was happening. I think it was probably season 2.
What was it? What were they doing? They were cleaning up.
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember.
yeah. It was like a scene, a crime scene, and they had it all taped off, and they had the yellow jackets on. They looked more like they were cleaning a hazardous waste.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Now I know what you're talking about. Oh, see, there's another part with the colors.
Yeah, the yellow was there even then. I just think we pay more attention to it now. But it was in a couple of the scenes, the yellow, the red, and the blue.
Yeah, I think it's almost in like every scene, to be honest. Like some of them are more obvious than others, but like you know, that's just how it is.
All right. Does anyone else want to go now, or do we just want to go on to the next? Who wants to go on to the next one?
You can go ahead.
All right. So, continuing with Michael, because I thought that this was a big episode for Michael, was this scene when I can't remember the kid's name, but he basically lied to Naaman about the stash, saying that the police kicked it in, and Naaman basically wouldn't man up and take care of the kid lying to him, and the kid kind of stepped in front of Naaman and was like, basically calling him a coward and like saying like you're about to, but you're a gump, you won't do it. And Michael just steps in and then just absolutely like crushes the kid. Like I mean, he beats the crap out of the kid. And I thought it was just another step of just the change you're seeing in Michael as a character.
And
Oh, yeah.
I almost see just Michael just be, not even slowly, but he's quickly just becoming a product of his environment, because it goes back to the whole title of the episode that Scott is on. It's like they're recreating Avon and Stringer and was it Weebay or whatnot, but instead of Naaman being Weebay, he's like on the other side of it now. So
Oh, yeah.
it's really weird, and I mean they're so desensitized, to beat that was a child he beat.
Yeah, it wasn't like another
It was like
guy.
an elementary age kid.
Yeah. That was a really intense scene.
Right.
And especially with like the kid, like all the language in there coming from like
Right.
a child, it was
I thought it was really cute. And then he gets beat up. So.
They're just products of their environment. Like that's what I say. They're so desensitized to what they've seen around them. They've been groomed to be that way, and it just comes natural. But it's a shocker for the audience. Like,
Yeah. I don't know if you guys heard, like, after the kid got beat up or something, like, the background noise of it. I just heard this because I rewatched it, and it was actually, like, it sounded like old guys, like, they were, like, laughing, saying, like,
right.
Yeah.
yo, did you see that little kid just get
Yes,
beat?
yes,
Like,
that was-
like
yeah.
laughing about it. And he's, like,
Yeah.
he's probably, like, 9 years old. Like, honestly, the kid
Yeah.
looks so little, and they have these adults just laughing at him for literally getting beat. I thought the kid was dead. I literally thought the kid was dead the way
Right.
he was.
Yeah.
And the ironic thing is that as much as big of a role that the police play in this whole miniseries, they weren't around when that was happening. The only thing they're
Yeah.
concentrating on is the drugs, but they didn't see this kid damn near get killed beyond his life. It's just ironic.
it's also like in the scene near the end where the two are like having a conversation, and then the guy just shoots him in the knee and then walks away, and then the store owner
Right.
comes out and just
Yeah.
is like, oh, okay, and like says something. He's speaking in a different language, but he says something and then just kind of like walks away, and everyone just kind of leaves him there, like it's
Yeah.
not a big deal.
Yeah, where's the audience? Like, where's the witnesses?
Yeah, I definitely think this scene, like Travis said, was another way that Michael was kind of like stepping up, and like you see his true colors, that he beats up a 9-year-old. Like,
Yeah.
and he doesn't just like teach him a lesson, like he really beats him. Like, I guess that's more
Yeah.
of a lesson, but you can definitely see him like kind of just stepping up. And, after that whole shooting thing with
Yeah.
the guy and the girl, like the paint guns, it kind of just shows that like he's definitely gonna be someone with Marlo soon.
Yeah. He's a soldier, so to speak, for that army, and I mean, I could just see that little 9-year-old kid. He's that guy you see that has no teeth in his mouth, and you wonder, like, how'd he get there? Just bad hygiene. He probably was that 9-year-old that got whooped by somebody, twice his age, So it's just.
Who's
it's
also
sad,
who's been working out boxing. Like,
but- right.
Oh, that's
yeah,
right.
it's not just no guy just walking off the street. I mean,
Right.
Michael's been fighting, so Michael knows
Yeah.
he knows how to throw a punch, and you can see it in the
Yeah.
kid's face when he lays on the ground.
That was like a whooping by a grown man, not by
Yeah.
even a teenage boy. That was like a grown man went hard on him. So
Makes me wonder if like Michael's doing this like almost like releasing his anger from his mom. You know how his mom like let Bug, the little boy, I think his name's like Bug or something like that, the dad back in,
mhm.
and I wonder if it's like him like being done with his mom, like using the money to get drugs and whatnot, and just kind of releasing his anger, but at the same time now turning into one of the guys.
The dark side.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. He's
it's
going real
almost-
dark.
I'm since we're on Michael right now, a couple of things I've actually noticed about Michael too. He's not trustworthy at all. He trusts no one. And let's say that kid did get his door kicked in. It's reasonable to say that something like that could have happened. In the neighborhood that they're in, and how they have a narcotics investigative team watching that neighborhood all the time. So that could have happened, but Michael trusts no one. Like, I saw how he got out of the car with Cuddy in one of the other scenes. I thought he thought Cuddy was gonna molest him or something. That's the first thing came to my mind in that scene, is that he got out the truck because he thought he was gonna be molested. But I think it was about Cuddy sleeping with the guy's mothers or something like that. But he trusts no one.
Yeah. I mean, you can see he doesn't even trust his mom.
Yeah, and like another part of Michael, I thought that scene, not only was it him showing his true colors, but he was kind of standing up for his friend. Because then there's a later scene where I don't know if it's in this episode or the next one, where the kid who's the snitch gets beat up outside of school, and like Michael's
Randy.
Oh yeah.
So, like, I don't know if it's just him being defensive of his friends or just him being just a total badass.
That could be a good point, Carmela, because he even defends Dookie, isn't he the one that defends Dookie like all the way through?
Yeah, actually, I have that. I'll go ahead and share that right now. Is in the gym. This is when Michael was working out, and Naaman came up, was like, "Yeah, man, I'd like to like kick a little boy's like ass." I'm like trying to act all tough, and then then he ends up like leaving Michael because Michael wasn't answering, and then when Naaman went to Dookie and was like, "Yeah, you want to spar?" And he was like, "Nah, I'm working the ropes." And he was like, "Yeah, you would be working the ropes, you gump," like messing with him, like. And then Michael just comes over and just slaps Naaman like I don't even know. I mean, he slaps him a good like 6-7 times, and you can see his face in here, and he doesn't even have like any emotion to it.
Yeah.
He's just playing normal.
Yeah, I think what's important to take note of that scene is that he slaps him and he doesn't punch him, because I think that goes back to when the kid didn't want to beat up the 9-year-old. So I don't know if he like decided to slap him to kind of like treat him like like he's not even worth a punch, or he doesn't have like like the balls to do it, beat up the kid. So I thought that was interesting that he slapped him.
Yeah, and then that was the point when Naaman started breaking down too. Like that was the turning point for Naaman.
Yeah.
Because that's when he started crying, and then Cuddy and them like talked to him, and I'm not gonna spoil what happens with Naaman, but
right.
Yeah, that's a big turning point to him.
Yeah.
All right, I'll share my next clip. Let me find it.
That's so loud. Sorry.
I did it too, Carmela. Okay, I'll take my hat off.
All right.
You and your wife, you don't have children, do you? Not yet, no. We'll have some. For better, for worse, they're yours for life. The kids in this school aren't yours. Do your piece with them and let them go. Because there'll be plenty more coming up behind Duquan. And they're going to need your help, too. Got your third period in 5 minutes, right?
Okay.
All right. Okay. So I chose that scene to share because, again, it's just showing Perez, like, caring about what happens to these kids. And, like, obviously you're going to have some kids like Michael who just go off the deep end and start punching kids. But you're also going to have kids who, like, look up to Perez and respect him. So I thought it was really cool because he's, like, the only one who's actually trying to change the kids to make them not follow in Stringer and Avon and Weebay's footsteps and make that, like, let them have the opportunity to have a good future and be educated.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point.
Yeah, because he knows what's going to happen. He's had the experience to see the result of where they're headed, whereas, I mean, they see it, but from a kid's eyes, they don't really realize, the mistakes they're making by the choices that they're making now. And they don't realize until after they arrive to where they are. But Prez knows. He knows that life throughout, almost as if he's experienced it himself.
Yeah.
So.
And I think with Prez, you know, he's I think I don't know what episode it is. It might have been this one that you know, it kind of mentions like that he hasn't had kids, but he wants to, and it's almost like he took Dookie like under his wing and like to you know almost be like a father figure to him.
Yeah.
You know, he's been helping him out with showering and clean clothes and all. Um, so, you know, it's interesting to see. I mean, Prez was a softie from day one. I mean,
Oh yeah.
you know, he shouldn't have been. He wasn't really a hard ass cop, but you know, it's really interesting to see him actually like care a lot for this kid.
I don't know how soft he is. I think everybody sleeps on Prez. You
Like
know.
he has a dark side or
he's,
something.
he's soft, but he's tough as nails too. I mean, to go into an environment like that middle school, you know, and deal with everything that those kids were, they tested him time after time after time, and he stood his ground, and he's still there because a lot of teachers would have ran with their tail tucked. You
Yeah.
know, that for one, and for two, you know, even dealing with all the bull crap he dealt with, you know, working in the precinct under his wife's father, you know, so he kind of soft, but he's hard in other ways too. He can take the punches.
I think it's
Yeah, that's
frustrating
true.
too because he's always been like he's always somebody. He always has someone above him. He always has like a supervisor, someone watching out for him, so he can never do exactly what he wants to because he always has to answer to someone else.
Right, right. Including in this shot that you just shared with the principal.
Yeah.
Like she's telling him to back off, you know, and his heart is really invested in, you know, with someone in the police department and as well as in the school system, you want their heart to be invested. And he's constantly being encouraged to just back off and just, you know, just ride the clock and do his 9 to 5, so to
Yeah.
speak. So,
But I mean, he even like when he was teaching the kids, you know, before the testing, you know, he was teaching them like math and probability through different ways, like ways that made sense to them.
yeah,
Even with math problems, like he'll read one problem and then they'll be like, I don't get it, and then he'll change it to like either talking about like the corner or like you know
right.
he you know he understands like how he should teach them because you know he doesn't expect any of these kids to be you know the next Nobel Peace Prize winners, you know, but he's trying to actually teach them, and then here he is, he just gets shut down and has to teach the test. You know,
Yeah,
just literally has to
Yeah.
teach the test.
I mean,
Yeah.
because he's working against a system. You see how the school system is in this series. It's like they don't really care to teach the kids. They care about, you know, just getting enough money from the government. You know, just show up long enough so we can get paid. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're not really invested in the kids because it's almost like what do you call it, self-defeat. Like we already know we're not going to get anywhere with these kids. So
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah.
Well, I could share a picture. So what I focused on mostly in this episode was like the Christmas decorations, because I thought that was a little ironic.
Right.
Yeah, me too. I noticed that.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
I don't know if you've like seen the next episode, but it happens a lot in that episode too. And you would think it would be like really like cheerful, but hold on, let me try to find that picture. Oop. Okay, I don't know if you can see this that well, but nope. Okay. Well, it's a picture of Weebei's son. I forget his name. I'm not good with names. And it's when his mom is like just telling him that he's not like good enough and he's just like a wimp. And like you see like they're in their house and there's just so many Christmas decorations and then you just see him getting like talked down to. So you would think it'd be like a whole cheery atmosphere, but like in reality, you know, that's happening. So I noticed that part. And then it happened again with I don't know this kid's name, but when Carver goes to the hospital after his house gets burned,
Yeah.
his foster mom's like totally burned up, and then you just see like all these Christmas decorations again, and just not a happy moment again. So that's what I focused on.
And you know, to add to that, those two shots in particular that you shared, I noticed as well, not just those two shots, but the fact that there's a lot of two-person dialogue in this episode, And within those dialogues, it's always about something very serious, like grave conversations. At
Yeah.
a moment where it should be something pleasant or a
Mhm.
delightful time, it's just like hardship and struggle still. It's like
Yeah.
it's almost trying to emphasize to us that there's never a sunny day for these kids. There's never a Christmas. There's never a good time for these kids, you know.
Well, and there's never an ending too. Like we're
Right.
seeing these people from season one just being recreated and being worse than before. So it's
Yeah. Definitely in the next episode, there's funnier scenes with the whole Christmas decorations. But, you know, that's, yeah.
Are you guys done with all? I have one. Well, I have two. Let me see.
Okay.
I just wanted to point out that the whole two. I just spoke to this a bit about the whole two people scenes that are throughout, and I actually wanted to share that one last, but also that he focuses on people being in the middle of the screen, like so that you focus on them and letting you know that it's a pivotal moment. And there is another scene. Where's it at? Oh, okay, I can't find it. I can't find it. But it was a scene. This lady was walking out to speak with Carcetti, and there was like a sign on the wall that said like the governor's office. It was front and center too. Like this
Yeah.
is how bad the situation is that we're going to the governor's office. So I keyed in on that, and just how this the camera is constantly have these people in the middle of the screen, letting just how important that conversation or that person is at that moment.
Yeah,
Um,
even that scene that you were talking about, when the lady kept walking out and like just a little bit longer, like it's going longer than expected, like no, just wait, just wait. And they get up and they say, "Screw this! Like I have work to do in Baltimore." They
right.
leave, and Carcetti's talking all like he's gonna be begging for me one day, like oh blah blah blah, all this stuff. The front desk guy gets a phone call saying that the mayor's ready, and you can see them quickly go from being like, oh, like screw the governor to okay, we need this money, we need to go back and talk to him.
Yeah.
Right.
And like a
And just
fun
like
fact about that security guard, I think I read somewhere it's like the actual mayor of Baltimore or the
Oh my
governor
God.
of Baltimore Times. I think I read that on like Wikipedia or something, but
really,
really.
that's pretty cool.
That's cool. Can I share my last one?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was already on a roll. So the last thing I wanted to share was, and I don't know if anybody caught this scene here. It's towards the end. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to. Okay. This scene right here. I don't know if this scene is stands out to anyone. But this scene is the exact same scene, or it puts me in the mindset of the first scene at the beginning of the series where, oh my God, McNulty is having the conversation with the guy in the hood, and he's talking about Snot, the guy had got killed.
mm,
At the beginning of the scene, it opens up and the guy is murdered in the middle of the streets, and the police is sitting there, and McNulty is sitting on a stoop, just like Naaman and Michael are sitting right now. And they were talking about, the guy had got shot because he had robbed a crap game or something like that. And everybody knows he does it, but everybody still plays with them. And it was the same thing like with this kid. This is the same thing they were saying about this kid, that said the police had kicked in their door. So they're sitting there having that same similar conversation that McNulty had with the other street hopper at the beginning of the series. That really stuck out to me.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, if you go back and even listen to that scene, they're almost having the same exact discussion that McNulty was having with that guy at the beginning of season 1.
That's interesting.
Well, then there you go. It's just recreating the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah. Crazy.
Well, I have one last one that I'll share, and my theme has been talking about Michael. So we kind of discussed this one with when the one, is it Cuddy that got shot? I think it was Cuddy that got shot. Whoever the gym guy.
Cuddy.
Yeah.
That's Cuddy.
So when he got shot, and then this guy was going to like basically finish him off.
Right.
Yet again, didn't even care. Like literally, the guy didn't do anything to him, but just tell him that he wasn't talking to him. But then you kind of see here, like Michael kind of still has a slight good side, like a slight caring side.
Yeah.
Uh, he's not completely turned yet to just the gangbanger, but he's still, he didn't want to see his gym coach, his boxing coach, just be
But
killed right then and there.
doesn't that kind of go back to what Sydney pointed out earlier, though, about, the coach is not really off sides from Michael. That's like one of his crew, too, because he pulled him into the gym and everything,
Yeah.
he gave him a safe haven, so to speak. So, even though he allowed him to get that first shot, he still protected him. So it
Yeah,
just goes back to what Sydney pointed out earlier about he's a hard ass, but he defends his own.
his his
That's got his own. The title of the episode, that's got his own.
yeah, that's
And
very
that's
true. I mean,
too, but
I think we just broke down the entire title of why they named it that without even knowing.
Yeah.
But does
Good job.
anyone else have anything else to share?
I
I got nothing.
That was all I had.
Does anyone get the epigraph or think the epigraph has any
What was it?
any meaning
Someone-
to it? Is that's all there is to it?
It's
Bubbles?
that's
Yeah, he said it when he was getting the cyanide from the guys. They were telling him that'd kill a whole stable of horses, which was odd. Back to Carmela's point, the whole Christmas, they
Yep.
had Christmas horses in,
Yep.
in a concrete jungle. Like,
Yeah.
like really, where'd they get horses down there? Where are the stables?
Yeah, it was like, where did Bubba walk to? Like, or Bubbles, where did he walk to like
Yeah, it seems like a
to
nice place too.
have horses?
yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny.
So I don't know. I just wondered if anybody had keyed in. I always look at the epigraphs and try to find some symbolic reason for that epigraph being used, but I couldn't.
What was it? What was it again?
It was
That's
that,
all there is
that
to
all
it.
there. Yeah, it's what Bubba said when they were telling him about the cyanide, about killing someone with the
Yeah.
cyanide, and he was all like, "That's all there is to it." But that's the only time he said it within the season, within that episode. But I just
Yeah.
didn't get the
I'm not
connection.
sure.
Yeah, I don't know, because was it this episode where Bubbles is like that kid that he kind of took in? Or
Yeah.
Yeah, it was this one, right? So I
Yeah.
don't know if it's related to that anyway, but I don't know, like
Oh, that might have. Yeah,
Maybe.
something there. I don't know what it would be though, but
I can feel that.
maybe something.
That's all there is to it. Their life. To a life.
Yeah, yeah. They just they try to try to be clean, but then turn right back to it, and then they just kind of almost kill themselves from it.
You're right.
But yeah, that was a tough scene for Bubbles
Yeah.
to wake up to that.
I
I was not expecting that.
I don't know if we're going into season 5. I don't guess we're not going into season 5, but I'd like to see what's going to happen with Bubbles after that.
Yeah, I've already started going into it. It's pretty good.
I have.
I couldn't stop. It was like one of those like just keep clicking next, keep clicking next. The next thing I know, it's like 5 hours later, and I haven't done anything but watch The Wire.
Right.
But
I had to find a different way to get access to it, so I think my husband has it on MovieBox, so I'll look at it through there. He
gotcha.
hasn't posted season 5.
Ah, gotcha.
So.
Well, anyone have any closing remarks that they'd like to say about this episode, or
I got none.
all good?
It's just-
All right. Well, there it was discussion for season 4, episode 12, and we're out.
All right.
Yeah,
Bye.
for life.